lot of buzz around getting a pass to UAE for barely 23 lakhs for a lifetime. Is that true? Well, getting a UAE Golden Visa used to cost a fortune. You needed to invest in property worth at least 2 million dirhams. That's over 4.5 crores. Or have a massive business investment there. But that's not the norm anymore. UAE has just rolled out a nomination-based Golden Visa, and Indians are being prioritized here in the new phase. Eligible Indians can now apply for a 10-year UAE Residency visa through government nomination. In fact, government has to vet it, and if UAE believes that you're bringing value to the country, then you very well will be in for 23 lakhs for a lifetime. Well, there's no big ticket investment anymore. If you want to get this, then you've got to be a person of value. The visa is open to professionals in science, in startups, culture, finance, trade, and even influencers. You can also sponsor, if you do get the visa, you can sponsor then your spouse, your children, and adult children, parents, and household staff as well to come stay with you. The process is just launched across 6 Indian cities where the process will be initiated, and that includes Delhi, Mumbai, Ahmedabad, Chennai, Hyderabad, and Pune, through new centers of the excellence by BFS and Rayad Group. These are centers that are carrying out this visa processing. Of course, they're going to vet you thoroughly. They are all set to use generative AI tools alongside legal vetting process to guide the applicants on how to go about it. But of course, 23 lakhs is really not a guarantee here. It's just the starting cost. Every applicant has to go through strict background checks. They'll verify your criminal history, your social media presence, whether you genuinely bring value to UAE's economy and their culture. Only then will your application be sent to the UAE government for final approval. Also, unlike property-linked visa, this nomination-based visa won't be cancelled if you sell your property or your assets. It does stay valid for life. And we hear in phase 1, India and Bangladesh have been picked for priority rollout. UAE wants at least 5,000 Indian applicants to apply in the next 3 months. That's their priority. Basically, India stands the first chance. So if you're a change maker, a dreamer, a doer, the door is, of course, wide open for you in UAE. The question does remain, will you walk that through? I'm joined by Ambassador Suresh K. Goyal, former Indian diplomat. I also have with me Professor Rakesh Mohan Joshi, Vice Chancellor, Indian Institute of Foreign Trade, and Manish Chad, CEO, Center for Global India Insights. Thank you very much, all of you, for joining us. A quick word from the ambassador himself. Sir Suresh, your take on why do you think UAE is doing something like this? We have great ties. The two countries have the best relations. In fact, News9 had very recently had a India-UAE summit, a very successful one. Based on the kind of relationship the two countries share, we already have enough of our workforce working there without a hassle. Not even without the Golden Visa, Indians managed to find a place there and a residency. What do you think is this fresh rollout of this special Golden Visa purposed for?
Very puzzling, but I mean, I must say that when I went through the details, first of all, making this Golden Visa available to Indians and Bangladeshis. Why Bangladeshis with India? It's like this. I'm a bit puzzled by this really, but otherwise, on the surface of it, it is completely a commercial proposition. I really won't really take it to the level of a political favor or political kind of an instrument. UAE does welcome people of professional class to come to UAE, whether the doctors, nurses, industrialists, all kinds of people really who can contribute to the UAE economy. And therefore, as a means of encouragement for them to come and for the family to join with them, and if they want to sponsor somebody else, they would make a kind of a scheme to encourage them to come. And that is where I actually would, it's a very attractive scheme. Reminds me of the Golden Visa from Trump. Was it $1 million or something, whatever it is? It is much cheaper to go to the UAE really. And as the facilities in terms of what you can get, as good as what you can get in the USA. So I think on the whole, it's a great scheme. If I had 23 lakh rupees, I would probably think about it again. but still a lot of money for many Indians. But on the whole, a good commercial scheme, really, I would say, betting and everything, but I would leave it there, really.
I'm also
Yes.
bringing bring our business specialist here, sir. Mr. Chad, your take on UAE trying to really cobble up every talent from India from different verticals to come to the UAE and boost their economy. There was a belief a little earlier that said people who have a golden visa, the taxman's eye is on you. That was the perception, or even now the perception here in India. Don't get a golden visa because then the taxman's eyes are on you. But here UAE is now opening it to people, and just about any Indian, 23 lakhs, if you have good history, then you're allowed into UAE. Of course, you've got to be someone with talent, but it's not difficult. 5,000 in the first 3 months itself that they're rolling out. Mr. Chan? Sir, please go on. Yeah, that's for you.
You want me to speak?
Yes, sir.
I think it's a scheme just to attract talents from across the world. And if you see that, what they have said is 100,000 AED, the dirham, 100,000 dirham, which works out to only 23,000 rupees. But if you go into the details of the criteria, I think many Indians should be able to get this visa easily because it includes the scientists, senior executive professionals, professors, teachers, and even PhD researchers. The people in the top 100 institutes from the country whose GPA is more than 3.8. So almost all the intellectual class is going to get it. And UAE, as you have seen, that it has become a society which is knowledge-based society, and I think it talks of the commitment of the UAE to build a knowledge-based society. UAE, despite of having a population, the Indian population in UAE works out to almost 36 lakhs Indian resides in UAE. And if you see, the UAE is a country which is small, but it's very, very competitive in terms of, say, the logistics index. It works out to, very high logistics, corruption, and the infrastructure. It provides world-class infrastructure. It's easy to go to UAE. Then UAE is also offering, the stability in terms of its policy, stability in terms of its development, unlike America. So, UAE is incidentally capitalizing the instability in America, where the policy is, uncertainty and unpredictability
Yeah.
is probably at the top. And therefore, only thing is, India, many people can go, but you said about the taxation and the taxman. But more worrisome is if the entire intellectual class from India leaves and go to better locations, better destinations, America, Europe, Canada, and even UAE, then I think it's a matter for introspection for India,
Correct.
that how to
That,
retain
that was
talent in
precisely
India.
my question. In fact, Professor Rakesh Mohan could chime in on that. Professor, is this going to be a brain drain risk for India?
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. If you see in 23 lakh rupees, they are giving us lifetime visa, but people like us pay at least 10 lakh rupee every year in income tax. Now, the taxpayers in this country are also expecting something. This is the basic thing. I think that, the government to the intellectual class, say doctors, lawyers, professionals, officers, who don't have any means of saving, no investment, no investment. Our only investment is our house, that's all. And therefore, countries like UAE, and there are other countries as well, Canada is one, Australia is one, they are also giving some, Italy is one, they are giving talent-based visas to attract this. So either the talent which goes there, uh, either we are expecting that they gives back in terms of the savings to India, the remittances, inward remittances. UAE account for 18% of the inward remittances, which is almost 21, 24 billion US dollar per annum. So either inward remittances or their intellectual capital. So a person which is grown in India, the government of India spent so much of the money in teaching them in the top institute, you call it IIT, IIM, where fees are, say IIT fees are very, very subsidized, the taxpayer subsidy. And if this talent goes outside, so we are not getting advantage of that talent. So this is one thing. Individually, it could be a matter of happiness for those who goes there. They think the life is big. I am not very sure the life is big or not.
Money is
How
big.
the
You
innovation
earn
and
big
invention
money.
in
You
this
earn in
country will
dirhams.
happen.
You can invest in India. That's usually an Indian mentality, that you work abroad to save money enough to buy a lavish house or assets in India. That's what it is. Do you believe inevitably money is anyway going to come to India? Manish Chand, CEO, Center for Global India Insights, maybe will have a better
yes. So I think
understanding.
it's a golden opportunity for both sides in some ways. I mean, fears and apprehensions of brain drain aside, you are right. I mean, if you have high value individuals and not just moneyed people, but talent powerhouse, talented people, professional, skilled people. So this marks a major shift from just propertied individuals, people who want to invest, and providing this golden opportunity to the upper middle class, people of certain income bracket. And it is also selling a lifestyle and opportunity to entrench themselves. A lifetime visa means that you are here for the long game. And so obviously, if you're going to make money in UAE and anybody is going to invest, or, say 20 lakh plus for visa, when, in ordinary course of things, he could just have visa for a few thousand rupee and keep going again and again. What it means is they're going to play the long game, and obviously some of the money will come back to India. So it's not a one-sided, one-way traffic. Also, you have to understand that what is this reflection of? It is, of course, as pointed out earlier by a panelist, or one of the panelists, it's about UAE looking for an infusion of talent. UAE in quest of building a knowledge-based society. Right now, you see, the bulk of Indian people who are staying there are probably blue-collar people. Now, what you're looking to attract is the high-end people of talent, capability, excellence. And I'm quite encouraged to see the focus on
Do you
creative people.
feel that India is priority here, not just because of the relations, but also cheap labor? That Indians may not be as expensive as talents from the West?
Yes. Yeah, that also is a factor comparatively. I mean, if you look at, say, for example, a doctor or a performer, the rates compared to the developed countries. So yes, it is affordable, but I don't think that's the only factor. If you're taking the long view, it leads to an amalgamation of two different, but yet similar culture. And it is also, that America is no longer the promised land anymore. So I think UAE is capitalizing on that. UAE is everything going for it in some ways, in terms of world-class infrastructure, glittery lifestyle, and everything else, quality of life to some extent. So it is not just, that UAE is looking to attract cheap talent. It is looking to attract quality people from India to add to amalgamate, to integrate in their social fabric, cultural fabric. And
All
it
right.
bodes
You
very
know,
well.
I of course have a question on what this does to the global race for talent then. What about other countries?
Right.
Ambassador Suresh, you want to tell us a little more on how the process for visa approvals happen across the world, residency particularly. It's not very easy in the West, but yet I do know that talent is preferred. Good talent have a place across the world. Australia, be it US or UK, are very clear that they want talented individuals in their country. Only those kinds and categories get a visa. Can't hear you, sir. Please unmute yourself.
All right. Talent always has been given a preference in most of the countries for migrant visas, whether it is Australia or Singapore or the USA. It has been a process all the time, really, here. I think in that sense, if you look at what the UAE is doing, as I said earlier, they're trying to attract professionals to come to the UAE. UAE has begun to come or has begun to really come forward as a country playing a role amongst the so-called industrialized developed economies where the professionalism matters a lot in terms of business conduct, etc., etc. Please do remember that UAE has been a favorite destination already for migrant labor from India. There are lots of Indians working in the trade in India. In fact, the population of Indians in the UAE is already about 30 to 40% in terms of what they're doing. So the point really here is whether UAE with this scheme will be able to attract professional Indians to come to the UAE to do whatever they're doing. The fact is, for most of the Indians, even today, the destination, the cherished destination remain the USA, Europe, Australia, Singapore. Will they be attracted by the scheme to come to the UAE if they find that they can actually get over it? Now, if they do go to the UAE with the long-term residential visa, what is the guarantee that if they find better opportunities in the USA, they will not leave the UAE for the USA? So it's all basically, let's not even talk about the brain drain. It's a fictitious term really now. People move from one country to the other country wherever they find the opportunities, and so will the Indians. So let us see how it's able to really work in terms of movement of professional Indians to UAE. I'm not really 100% sanguine that it is going to work really that way, because the preferences for the Indian professionals remains more or less what I said: USA, Europe, Singapore, Australia,
Oh,
UAE, etc.
those are preferred destinations for Indian, you say?
Absolutely.
Okay, but I still feel that the distance between India to UAE is also very favorable for Indians. No?
Most
No?
no, the distance for the professional Indians, I've seen them all along. I've seen them in the USA. I've
Yeah,
seen
but
them
just a
in
question.
Singapore.
Just a question. A stamp, a UAE stamp on your resume, a company working in Dubai versus a stamp that you have from maybe Australia, UK, US. What holds more weightage?
I would really say any day, even today, a stamp of the US, of Australia, a stamp from Singapore, a stamp from Europe, or saying the USA will still be far outweigh.
Would you say the same, Professor?
No, I think the stamp of made in India is stronger than a stamp in Australia or UAE. Because I think, to succeed, you require an Indian and not a person born in Australia or UAE. That is perfectly fine. But what I'm worried about it is not that from UAE, the professional goes to US or UK or Australia. What I'm worried is he should come back to India. He need to contribute to India. And I think we require strategies for UAE. It could be good, but we require strategies where we attract the talents, giving them the world-class conducive environment opportunities. So, my worry is a long-term strategic concern that, India need to provide that. If you look into the higher education, 4-5 lakhs students are going abroad every year.
Yeah.
But the number of students coming in is 50,000, 60,000 for last multiple years. So unless the inflow of the talent in India is moved, you are very right that people go to UAE and then they look for Canada and then America. It's a bit track that which will become. It could be easier for them. But I think to make India great, and to have our concept of Viksit Bharat 1947, India need to nurture the talent on its own soil. we need not, and we need to attract not only the Indians but even foreigners who can contribute to the
And we've
growth
also
of
got to
India
rework on our
and
taxes if possible. That will be a big motivator for Indians to stay back
Very
as
right,
well.
very
Our
right.
tax is
Professionals
one
to
of
be
the
exempted
highest.
of taxes.
To start a business, to bring foreign funds, my God. So, and UAE offers on many levels tax-free income. So,
Very right.
you know, thank you very much. I'm short on time. I really appreciate all of you for joining us, sir. Thank you.